So, as promised, I wanted to do a quick video to go over this review, and it's just 4 problems that if you understand Unit 2, you would be able to do. This is kind of the type of problem I would expect you to be able to do with each of the ideas, right? So we have something that's slope-intercept form, we have point-slope form, we have standard form, and then it also covers parallel and perpendicular lines, okay? So just for the first one. The first one is write the equation of the line with a slope of 1/5 that goes through the y-intercept at -25. My hope is that in seeing the slope and knowing the y-intercept, that you know that this is a y equals mx plus b scenario, okay? Where m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. That is just a general knowledge. You need that moving forward. Have to know it. Tattooed to your brain. Always there thing for you to have. This is the equation of a line in its basic form given the slope and the y-intercept. So the answer to this one is simply you write the y, the equals, m is the slope, b is the y-intercept, and this one's done. That's it. That's all you need for number 1. Mr. Mock, that seems way too easy. Good. Good. So then I should expect you to be able to do it, because that's all you need. You're given a slope and a y-intercept. That's the form that you need. Okay? Now, what are the x and y intercepts of the line with equation 4x minus 9y equals 26? So the general idea that I need you to know for this one is that at every x-intercept, y equals 0. And at every y-intercept, x equals 0. So if that is the expected knowledge, then when you're doing the x-intercept, y equals 0, you're simply going to put in 0 for y and solve for x. So this is exactly what we were doing last unit. You're solving for a variable. All right, so you have 4x equals 26 because, well, -9 times 0 is 0. Divide by 4 on both sides. X is going to equal 26/4, which simplifies to 13/2. And if you put that into a mixed number, go right for it. I'm not necessarily saying I need it in a mixed number. Some of you say that that's the only way to do it, and your elementary school teachers will love that. I prefer the 13/2. Okay? Now, y-intercept. 4 times 0 minus 9y equals 26. Now, at the y-intercept, x is 0. So that means 4 times 0 is 0, which is going to leave us with -9y equals 26. So then y is going to equal -26/9. And again, you want to put it as a mixed number, rock on with your bad self. You don't, I'm good with that answer right there. No worries either way, okay? No decimal. Don't do it. Not good. Next one. Number 3. So now we're moving a little bit further. So we've covered slope-intercept form, we covered standard form, in that you use standard form to find x and y intercepts, right? So those are the basic knowledge skills that I'm looking for you to have right now. And then number 3 is, what is the equation of the line in slope-intercept form that goes through -2, -8 with a slope of -3/4? Now, my hope, the expectation, is that you're like, oh, slope and a point-slope form. But he's asking for slope-intercept form. Start with point-slope form. If you're given a point and a slope, start there. So point-slope form is y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. And really, it's just the slope formula, and you solved for the y minus y1. That's it. Then you plug everything in. So this x1 and y1 is this point here. So the y value is the -8. So y minus -8 equals slope is -3/4. X minus the x value is -2. Okay? So then you get y plus 8 equals negative 3/4 x plus 2. But how do I turn that into slope-intercept form? Well, slope-intercept form is this one. It's that y equals mx plus b. So now we're going back and using those same skills from the last unit, solve for y. So I want to solve for y. I want to make that guy all by itself. The only time Boolean is acceptable in schools by isolating that one to be all by itself. Wah wah. Okay? So now y plus 8 equals, use that distributive property, negative 3/4 x, negative 3/4 times 2. It's going to be negative 3/2. Fraction power. I love it. Subtract the 8 on both sides. And I'll just draw an arrow this way. So you're going to get y equals, and now it's negative 3/4 x minus 3/2 minus 8. So now we have more fraction work to do. Mr. Mock, I don't like fractions. It's okay. You'll be fine. We can do this. Negative 8 as a fraction with a common denominator of 2 just means, I'll just take this over here to the margin, negative 3/2 minus 16/2. Well, how'd you get to 16? Well, what's 16 divided by 2? 8. Oh. So now this becomes negative 19/2 for your final answer of negative 3/4 x minus 19/2. You know, I really like that as a mixed number. Fine. Rock on with your bad self. I'm down with improper fractions. Well, I've talked to my older friends. Great. I've only been doing this for a while. Do what you need to do. If you want to use a mixed number, go ahead and do a mixed number. I'm leaving it as an improper fraction. No worries either here or there. Okay? Moving on to number 4. Number 4. Write the equation of the line that is perpendicular to y equals negative 1/7 x minus 5 and goes through negative 2, 21. Your final answer should be written in standard form. Seems like a lot of work. But the knowledge that I'm asking you to have for this one problem is, what do we know about the slopes of lines that are perpendicular? Well, if this is the slope of a line, the line perpendicular to it will be opposite reciprocal. So the slope of the new line is going to equal 7. 7 is the opposite reciprocal of negative 1/7. You just flip it and turn it positive, right? So then it goes through this point. So now I'm going to use point slope form again. Y minus 21 equals 7 times x plus 2. Standard form is what I'm looking for. Y minus 21 equals 7x plus 14. And then check this out. I'm going to subtract the 14. And then I'm also at the same time going to subtract the y. You can do that? Yeah, why not? So now what you get is negative 21. Oopsie. Eraser. Negative 21 minus 14 is negative 35 equals 7x minus y. Is that standard form? Kind of. You're going to flip it around. You want it to be 7x minus y equals negative 35. Mr. Mock, I did it and got negative 7x plus y equals 35. And that's fine, except to be in algebraic standard form, the leading coefficient on the x needs to be positive. And basically just needs to be a positive whole number. And then you have it. So the final answer that I'm looking for here is this guy. Okay, so let's review. We've done standard form. We talked about slopes of perpendiculars. We used point slope form, slope-intercept form. We talked about standard form, using it to find x and y intercepts. and then we just did a basic slope-intercept form. This right here would be a 3-level effort if I had these correct answers from you. Okay, that would be for this unit 3. That's what I'm looking for. I hope that helps. I hope you enjoy your weekend. Please check your answers, and on Monday or whenever we have class again, go ahead and ask me questions. Bye, guys.